Okay, let's cover the exam format for exam 2. Actually, it's very simple because you've actually already done it one time in exam 1. We've decided to keep the exam protocol pretty much the same because it seemed to have run quite smoothly for exam 1. Okay, now we know there are some discomforts in doing an exam, such as the one that we have, but we again want to emphasize the reasons that we're doing so are to ensure that we have a fair exam for all of our learners. So there's some inconveniences for everyone, including our grading staff. Okay, so again, it will be same as exam 1. There'll be 3 parts. Okay, each part with 25 marks or 25 minutes. Okay, same, so it's 1 minute per mark, and there'll be 5-minute break between sessions. Your individual proctor will be able to call time, and each room will start slightly off from each other due to this. Follow the instructions of your specific proctor to the letter. The first 2 parts will be the same as before. There'll be MCQ parts or MRQs, so make sure that you're clear about each one of these, okay? Check the information on the exam paper to see whether it is a single choice or whether you can indicate multiple responses. It'll be clearly marked there. And in coursemology, you'll always have the option of indicating more than one, okay? Because of randomization, we have to do this. The final part, the last 25 minutes of the exam, will be for short answer and essay questions. So we have heard you, and we know that the difficulty of writing or typing all of this information out can be quite strenuous. We are going to reassure you again that it won't overly take you too long to do the computation or to write the answers to these questions. They're meant as general questions that will help you think about the course overall. Different from the first exam, there will be no pulse check questions. At this point, I think we're all quite familiar with the protocol for doing e-exams. So this is why we've decided to strike out these questions, because there have been a couple students in the first exam that have difficulty for forgetting that these questions were actually there. Now, there will be a number of programming or calculation questions. This is necessary for us to test your competency on the algorithms, but it will not be the core part of your exam. Again, just like in the first case, we'll provide you the prototypes or any function calls that you may or may not need to use. Okay, you are, of course, welcome to load the Collab notebooks into your browser and refer to them if it helps you. But again, because time is limited and for programming questions, you actually have to do it in the essay section, we don't expect that you'll have to or want to refer back to these notebooks, okay? Pseudocode is perfectly fine as long as it looks like pseudocode. Don't expect a prose answer to get good credit. Finally, we'll note the topics for the exam. All topics from week 6, meaning right before our week 7 exam 1, which includes regularization and validation, will also be on the exam all the way until week 12. Week 12 is this week where we have covered ethics. Okay, so there are basically 8 parts to the topics that we've covered, those 8 weeks, and that means roughly, if we have 75 marks, about somewhere between 8 to 10 points per topic. Okay, this will obviously vary. For example, the questions that are on programming or have computation will eventually be upweighted because they take longer to execute. Okay, to be clear, information is just being tested is just limited to what we have taught in lecture or in tutorial or in Collab. Okay, now we have also put quite a number of bonus or added materials both in your weekly emails as well as in tutorial. These are indicated as 3-star assignments. They are not examinable, okay? So you don't have to worry about those, okay? Now, please note that the questions from previous exams that you might find in the NUS Digital Library will differ quite a bit from the ones that we're offering this year. This is a special semester due to COVID-19, okay? Now, there are 2 lecturers for CS3244, and the previous semester we actually had a final exam rather than 2 CA exams. Okay, so again, make sure you're clear that exam 2 only covers week 6 through week 12. Okay, it's slightly more comprehensive than the first paper, but it really only covers those topics. I've listed them here for you on the right-hand side. And just to note that there are 2 topics, which I'm sure you're aware of, that we didn't cover in as much depth. One is the self-guided tutorial on unsupervised ML. And finally, the machine learning ethics, which you didn't have a tutorial on, but you've had some exposure through the Collab Notebook and the video lectures and the optional lectures, which I think were terrific.